Oh, my hair always has a mind of its own, whatever. I am in a rush to film this and then get outside to the pool. So we're just gonna film it. Today, I'm super excited for today's video because we're gonna be decluttering some products. I have been finding over the course of 2023 that sometimes having too many choices can feel a little overwhelming. And while it's super fun to buy all the new products and test new makeup, I get to a place, or I've gotten to a place where like I feel like I just have too many choices. Also, my makeup preferences just have been changing, and I've got a decent stack of products here today that I'm going to be decluttering that just no longer fit my needs or fit into my collection. I just don't care to have them around. I don't think I'll miss them. And I want to condense my makeup collection just a little bit more, especially because my makeup inventory will be coming up very shortly. I do have a palette declutter coming soon as well. I have already filmed that, and I will say I am very happy with the number of palettes that I was able to part ways with. I did do a separate blush swatch / declutter video that I posted a couple days ago, so if you're interested in that, I'll leave that link down below as well as my declutter playlist. I did a rather large declutter last August or so, and I haven't been buying, like, some of these products I have purchased this year, but I haven't been buying. Well, I don't want to say that because I purchased a decent amount. Let's just get into the video. If you guys are interested, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content or just chit-chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Okay, you guys, do I have an order that I want to go in? I guess we can try and go in order that we do the face. I do have one primer I will be decluttering. Normally I hang on to primers and kind of make them work for me, but I have found that I am becoming pickier and pickier about my pore filling primers, and I just miss my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer so much. So I am trying to get through. I have a few pore filling primers left in my collection. I would also be interested in trying the Ordinary high adherence silicone primer again, but I'm going to be decluttering the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Putty Primer. I've gone through a full e.l.f. putty primer in the past. It was fine, but just not my favorite, and this is just not a primer that gets me excited to use primer, so I'm going to declutter this. I have 3 foundations actually that I will be decluttering. Up first, I have the Makeup by Mario foundation. I was so excited to purchase this foundation. I can't remember if I purchased it end of last year or beginning of this year, but in my mind, this was going to be like my new holy grail foundation, and it just did not become that. First of all, I bought a shade that wasn't great for me. This is just too light for me, even when I'm at my fairest. And I do find when I have a foundation that's too light, I feel like it just automatically is at a disadvantage because I just don't like the look of that. Every time I try and film now, something super noisy is happening outside, and right now somebody is mowing, and now I have something in my eye. So if you can hear that, I apologize. I don't love this, and I'm at the point in my life where I want to wear things that like make me feel pretty and not just wear things that I don't necessarily like to like try and pan them or finish them up. I feel like my sister may end up liking this, and her and I trade makeup all the time. So I have people that I can pass this along to. If it's not working for me, I don't want to try and make it work for me. The MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation I used to really like, but I pulled this back out and I just was not loving the way that it was sitting on my skin. I feel like I want to like try and use this one more time. I made the decision I was going to declutter it. Why do I do this? So I'm going to declutter this. I just feel like it didn't give the finish that I wanted. It was sheer and radiant, but almost like too radiant, but then like too sheer, where I feel like it accentuated things that like I didn't want to, and because it was, I just didn't love it. So I'm going to be decluttering that, as well as the Maybelline Green Edition Makeup Oil. This was fine, but it has this like earthy smell to it, and I purchased this because I thought in my mind I was going to do like a drugstore dupes video for high end, and I had heard this compared to the Ilia tinted oil. Is it Ilia? I think, or Kosas. I think it was the Ilia one, which I don't even own that anymore, and I need to just stop in my mind thinking I'm going to do these drugstore dupes videos, because that's just like not the content that I personally create. So this isn't a favorite foundation in my collection. I don't like the way that it smells, and I'm just ready to pass this on. I have so many other foundations in my collection. I also love to test new foundations, so I'd rather not let something I don't absolutely love just like lie around in my collection. just to like, again, try and make it work for me and try and use it up. So I am going to pass that along. That is not to say I want to be super wasteful and just like buy things just to buy, and then like if there's one thing I don't like about it, I'm going to pass it along. I think you guys know I do really diligently try to also finish makeup, but I'm getting to a place in life where like some things just aren't worth the effort. I do have 2 powders I'm going to be decluttering. I'm going to be decluttering my Too Faced Born This Way. I'm literally like, I feel like I'm a not very patient person, but like patient person. Like I know I'm not, but I am. But things like a freaking mower when I'm trying to film and I don't really have time to wait for the mowing to be like, this shit drives me absolutely berserk. So I'm irritated. Okay, Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I am going to declutter this. My daughter has been reaching for this when she's been playing with my makeup. I don't reach for a loose powder that frequently. I have other loose powders in my collection I prefer over this. This is heavier these days, so I'm just going to pass it along to my daughter because she's going to love it more than me. And then I purchased this year and really don't like this. I just talked about this in the worst makeup of 2023. It's the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. This is so firmly pressed that I feel like this does not pick up at all, and what very little product does pick up ends up just looking terrible on my skin. So this is not worth the effort in my opinion. It does not look good, and I will be passing that along. I only have one bronzer that I feel ready to part ways with, feel that doesn't necessarily fit my collection, and is the Revolution Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Light. This is a really nice product. It's just this shade does not look great on me, and I have quite a few other cream bronzers in my collection that I really enjoy. I'm thinking of like the NARS, the Fenty. I've been reaching for my Chanel because it's in a project pan, and I love those cream bronzers. And because cream products go bad more quickly, I'd rather just declutter something that I don't love the way that the shade works and really focus on those other products that cost a lot of money as well, honestly more than this, and I like the way that they look better than this one. So I'll be passing along this one from Makeup Revolution. It looks like I set this aside with the plan and the intention to declutter and forgot to include this in my blush declutter, but I have made the decision to get rid of my final Clinique Cheek Pop. This is in the shade Pink Honey Pop. This just does not pick up. It's not as pigmented as I would like. I feel like it's starting to just get really old, and I was swatching it next to some other blushes that I reach for on a more frequent basis, and it's similar enough that I feel ready to part ways with this one. I do really like the Clinique Cheek Pop formula, but my blush collection is just, there are too many choices. Even after decluttering, I'm still like, there are too many choices. I've been really loving reaching for my face palettes lately. So like my already large blush collection that's hard to cycle through is getting even less cycled through because I'm cycling through my face palettes more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I still have too much blush. I have decided to get rid of one highlighter, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am finally ready to part ways with the Persona Cali Glow highlighter. This is in the shade Zuma. This is just much more intense than I like for a highlight these days, and I thought about keeping this around to like use it as a body highlight, but I'd rather just pass this along to someone else who is going to get use out of it on an everyday basis, perhaps actually use it as a face highlight. And I just have so many other highlights also in my collection. Highlight is like a sneaky category. Like I feel like I don't have that many highlights, but then I like count up my highlights for inventory and I have way too many highlights. So I'm ready to part ways with Persona Zuma. I think this has been in my collection since like 2018, 2019. So it's had a long life with me. I've used that one quite a bit. That has been like a favorite highlight in the past, but it just isn't anymore, and I'm ready to be done with it. I missed the concealer that I've decided to declutter, and actually I have two concealers. My concealer collection, we're working our way through it, which is so exciting. So I have the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This is just a concealer that I don't use that often, and concealer takes me a really long time to get through. I love my Kosas concealer. I am currently going through the Dior concealer. I wouldn't repurchase that, but I also really I want to try the new Giorgio Armani concealer because I like my Power Fab, my other Giorgio Armani concealer, which I don't think they make anymore, but I really want to try that new one from Giorgio Armani. What other concealers do I love? I have my Rose Inc one that I love, the LYS one. And so I'd rather try new things slash repurchase the concealers that I really like, especially because I do feel like I don't get excited to purchase concealer, and I'm very picky about which ones I do like. So this is just, I'm bored of it. I don't need it anymore. And then I used to really like the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer, specifically for cleaning up like a wing or kind of being like a makeup eraser, I've described it as. And I just have other concealers that I can do that with now. And in terms of like a brightening concealer, I feel like last year and even into this year, brightening concealers have been super trendy, super popular. So there are so many brighteners or color correcting products out there that if I'm feeling like I want that type of product, I can go try something else. This just has really sheer coverage, so it's really not providing a lot. And I do still have my Becca Under Eye Brightening Concealer that I'm trying to pan and finish off, so I don't need the e.l.f. one anymore. It wasn't very expensive, which also truthfully makes it much easier for me to declutter. But that I am going to say goodbye to. Speaking of another e.l.f. product, I really loved this product at one point in time, but this is where just like the way that I do my makeup has changed so much. So this is the e.l.f. Brow Lift, and this is like a potted brow glue almost. I just much prefer, and of course I don't have it sitting in front of me, like my NYX brow glue, that's just so easy to swipe on my brows, rather than this just takes a little bit more effort. And the less effort when doing my makeup these days, honestly, the better and the more I prefer. So I could keep this around and use it. I do think it's a great product, but I just would much prefer to use the NYX brow glue. So I'm gonna say goodbye to that. I do have a couple of glosses. Lips, I definitely probably could have decluttered more, but maybe I'll try and swatch through and like do like a full cycle through like my lipsticks. Lip liners, I almost convinced myself I couldn't declutter anything, but I do have 3 lip liners I'm going to be decluttering. But lips is like an area I really do need to like, y'all know I've been trying to get through some glosses and I've been working my way through the glosses. But lipsticks, lip liners, liquid lipsticks, I probably could have done a little bit more there. The 2 glosses I'm getting rid of, I have this one from Glass Gloss. They sent this to me. I don't think this is a good product. It's so sticky and just, ugh, does not feel comfortable on the lips. Will be giving this to my daughter because she's been reaching for that and loving that. And then I thought I decluttered this quite some time ago, but this is still kind of lingering around in my collection. It's the Ofra Flexi Stick in the shade Smooth. It's a fine product. I just have so many lip glosses and that I much prefer. So I'm gonna declutter this because, I mean, I'd rather just buy like another Lawless, forget the filler. Not that they're like the same style of product, but like I would much rather just wear a gloss than a product like that. So I'm gonna say goodbye to that. And I do have actually a 3rd gloss. This is from ColourPop in collaboration with Raw Beauty Christie. It was in the shade Glacier. It's just a really icy, sparkly gloss, and it's not the shade, it's not a shade of gloss that I like. And I haven't counted yet for my makeup inventory, but I'm thinking probably still well over, for sure well over 50, possibly 60. We'll see. Glosses in my collection. So I have a wide variety to choose from, and a shade that I don't like on my lips is not going to be one that I'm going to be inclined to reach for. The 3 lip liners that I'm getting rid of are just shades that I have kept these around, convincing my fantasy self that I will use these at some point. And it has been probably 5+ years for both of these that I still have not yet reached for them one time as a lip liner. So it's time to say goodbye. I have the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Full Red, as well as the Tartiste lip liner in the shade Squad. A very vampy, a pretty like true to red. I just do not need them. I never wear lip liner. Like, it takes so much effort to get me to use my lip liners. I don't need them. Okay. And then I also have this one from Kat Von D. This was a harder one for me to convince myself to declutter, but this is more of like a mauve toned lip liner, and that's just not the shade. Like, I like just a brown. I like a pinky nudie brown, not necessarily like mauve-y. So I'm not gonna reach for it. I'm not gonna reach for the 20 other lip liners that I didn't declutter. So there's that. There's one lipstick that I'm getting rid of. It is the shade Weirdo from Urban Decay. I've had this for freaking ever. It's a very pink lipstick. Here, I'll swatch it for you. It's very pink. I don't really reach for something this pink. There's other lipsticks that I definitely should have like swatched, but I'm like in a rush and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm like in a rush, so I'm not thinking through my declutters, where I don't want to just like grab things to declutter to have more things to declutter. Like I really want to think it through. So perhaps I'll have another declutter, you know, in a few months where I'll get rid of more lip products, but I am like, I'm never reaching for a pink. This is at least probably 5 years old in my collection, so well past expiration. Barely have used this, so like that tells me it's okay to part ways with that. Plus I'm just liking a nude or like a bright, you know, coral orange or red. This Ciate London Wonderland mascara is completely dried out. I went to have this as my fresh mascara and it is like literally so disgusting. Like it is dry. It is dry, so this is going in the trash. This eye product, this is from, I think, Lucky Chick. It is in the shade Rose Quartz. It's really beautiful, but it makes my eyes sting, and I don't really have sensitive eyes, so I'm like, I don't want to be doing that. Plus, I don't reach for products like this that often. I am struggling as it is to get through my Stila Wanderlust that I never should have bought. I mean, it's so pretty. I wish I was a cream shadow type of a gal. Like whenever I watch Laura May Beauty, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want her sparkle, I want her lids. But that's just like, it's just not me. It's not who I am yet. So I'm gonna declutter this. I don't need it. I'm sure my daughter would love this. Love this. Hopefully her eyes don't sting. I will keep an eye out for that. And if they do, then we'll just probably toss them in the trash, but otherwise she can have that, you know? And then the final two products, I have these like lippy, sticky type of products. I have this one from ColourPop. It came out in the Safari collection. The packaging has completely worn off. I've tried to work on this in a project. It's like a shade that I feel like I would like, and every time I do put this on my lips, I actually do like it, but it takes so much effort for me to put it on my lips. Why am I keeping this? Why am I keeping this? I'm not anymore. I'm decluttering it. Actually, sorry, this is in the shade Brat Pack. It is a beautiful shade, and honestly, if I was like going to pumpkin patches more frequently, maybe I will this year and I'll regret this. I won't. I can, you know, I can get something else. But honestly, like, beautiful shade. If I actually reached for it, I would keep it, obviously. Where am I going with this? Can you tell I'm like, my mind is like on going to the pool. But anyway, last product is this one from Kaja. It's one of their heart melters. I did keep one other heart melter. It's like a lighter pink. But this is more of like a mid-tone shade and just not something that I personally am going to be reaching for that much. And honestly, I just want less choices. I, again, think it's a good product. Think it's a pretty shade. It's just not something I know myself to reach for that much. So I'd rather just have less stuff in my collection. And that is why I'm decluttering that. But after that, you guys, those are all of the products that I will currently be parting ways with. Those are the products that are leaving my collection. Would love to know, are you doing a mid-year makeup declutter? Are you getting rid of anything? Or is your makeup collection like so curated? Or do you just like all the choices? Like some people I'm sure just like all the choices. That's not my journey anymore. But that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch, for supporting me, and for supporting my channel. Palette week is on the horizon. I'm not quite sure the order that I'm posting my videos, but if it's not tomorrow, it's in 2 days. If it's not tomorrow, it's in 2 days, I believe. I think it's starting Thursday, the 18, 19, 20, 21, the 22nd. That is when palette week will be starting, which I'm so excited for. As always, let me know any palette themed content you want to see, even if it doesn't go up during palette week. I love getting your guys' feedback, ideas. You guys also had some great suggestions for video ideas for June, and if I didn't post those in June, I will be carrying them with me into the content that I want to film. You guys always have great content ideas. Thank you guys as always for supporting me. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Bye.